Hello, everybody. I am here with you today. My name is Jenny Carr. For those of you who do not know me, I'm the author of the international best-selling book, Piece of Cake, The Secret to an Anti-Inflammatory Diet. And my new book, The Clean Eating Kid, is coming out later this year, which I am super excited about. But I want to talk to you guys today because inflammation is my thing. As an inflammation specialist, I am really committed to helping people reverse chronic health conditions that could be impacting them or are impacting them, and really, stopping them from living the life, the day-to-day life that they want, that they aspire to do. Whether it's, it could be that you have arthritis or chronic pain in your body and it stops you from playing with your grandkids the way that you always imagined. Or maybe you're an entrepreneur and you have fatigue, chronic fatigue and bloating and digestive disorders that are really impacting your productivity level and ability to accomplish everything you need. Maybe you are a mom like me and you feel like you don't have patience with your kids and there's a lot of yelling. It is really impacting, again, those chronic symptoms, whether they're just kind of low-grade chronic symptoms or really loud and yelling at you. It's impacting your day-to-day way of living. Some people right now are listening and that resonates, and some of you are thinking, I don't really know that inflammation is affecting me. I have to remind myself that I'm so invested in, so deep in the world of inflammation that often I realize not everyone realizes, my refrigerator's beeping, not everyone realizes how inflammation is impacting them in more ways than they realize. So I want to just take a few minutes with you all to do a quick activity which will help you determine if inflammation really is impacting you. So the very first thing you can do is scan your body from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. And what we're going to scan our body for are any sort of chronic symptoms. It does not need to be a diagnosis. We don't even know if it has to do with inflammation. That's okay, right? The only important key is that it is a chronic symptom. Chronic mean when it is impacting you every day, every other day, every few days, or even once or twice a week or every other week, right? But it's happening consistently, and the key is that it's happening consistently for a couple of months or more. Now, if you fall and you break your leg or you sprain your ankle, you're gonna have inflammation. That's acute inflammation that actually supports the healing of your body. But what we're talking about is chronic inflammation that's going on for a couple of months or more at a time. Inflammation will show up uniquely and differently for each person and their body, depending on the areas they're most susceptible to. So for some of you, that could be genetic predispositions. Hi, Carrie. For some of you, it could be overuse from athletics or from whatever it may be. For some of you, it could just be areas in your body that aren't as strong. It shows up through our skin, chronic rashes, eczema, psoriasis, any sort of digestive disorder, whether it is diagnosed or just a symptom, right? Bloating, nausea, if you need to go to the bathroom a bunch or you don't need to go to the bathroom at all, you're experiencing constipation. It can show up with headaches, with brain fog, with low energy. It can show up from pain in your body, aches and joints. It can show up even if you have a structural condition. Maybe you broke your back or you tore a ligament in your knee. That is still an area that is I don't like to use the word weaker, but it's not as strong. And so the area again goes to the inflammation goes to the areas that you're more susceptible to. So that would be an area. So we're going to go ahead and do this quick activity where you scan the top of your head to the bottom of your toes and just notice what our body will speak to us. Is our body yelling at us? Is it telling us like, oh my gosh, I'm experiencing headaches all the time, or I have this stomach thing going on all the time. It also, inflammation, you guys, shows up mentally and emotionally. So if you have poor memory, a lack of clarity, if it's difficult to think, it impacts your hormones. So if your hormones are kind of out of whack, if you have thyroid or adrenal issues, it also impacts us behaviorally and emotionally. So if you experience anxiety or depression and ADD, sensory condition, any of these types of behaviors and or your emotional state of well-being, inflammation is directly linked to the root of this. So again, we'll scan the top of our head to the tips of our toes and just take a moment to notice what parts of my body feel less than ideal. What are yelling at me? What chronic symptoms do I experience on a daily or even weekly basis, but have been going on for a couple months at a time? And as you're noticing them, I recommend you write them down. So often, we get used to feeling less than ideal, and that becomes our new par. That becomes what we're used to feeling. So many of us are walking around just unaware of how good we can truly feel. All right, now that we've taken care of those loud symptoms, the symptoms that your body is yelling at, let's also take a look at the slower, more chronic, smoldering symptoms that may show up. These could be things that you barely notice, that you kind of just say, that's just life, or that's just me, or my body's just a little funky that way. It doesn't impact you from really living the day-to-day life that you want, but it also doesn't feel amazing. So again, if you scan your body from the top of your head to the tips of your toes, and just think, if my body was pure vibrancy, if it was just experienced vitality and health, and if it was everything that I really want it to feel, what little tweaks would I make? What little chronic symptoms show up that I would want to melt away? So take a moment to scan that. And then again, make a note of it. Oh, tough. Sorry. My dog I have a Jack Russell. His inflammation just went up as his cortisol levels went up from someone. It's okay, Tough. It's okay. Now that you've noticed and done that body scan, I'm just going to give Tough a pet here. Those chronic symptoms, whether they're behavioral, emotional, mental, or physical, if they're chronic and they've been happening for, anywhere from every day to once a week or so, but they've been happening for a couple of months or more at a time, the root of those comes from inflammation. Now that you know that, there are some amazing ways you can begin removing inflammation from your body. And that starts with anti-inflammatory diet, drinking a whole bunch of water every day to push the inflammation out. You can do breath work. There's all these different things you can do. But the number one thing is drink a ton of water and remove processed sugar from your diet, which I will do a live on that tomorrow, how to remove processed sugar from your diet without feeling overwhelmed, without feeling deprived, and knowing which sugars actually cause that chronic inflammation. But for now, it's just even recognizing that these symptoms, these chronic symptoms you're experiencing, do indeed are related to inflammation. That is the starting point. First, we have to see and know where it's coming from, and then we can begin to address how to remove the inflammation from your body. Okay, you all, thank you so much for showing up. If you are watching now, I would love, love, love to hear what are some of the symptoms that showed up for you, if you're willing to share that, as you did the body scan. And if you're on replay, please let me know you're on replay. And again, what are the symptoms that came up for you as you were doing the body scan? And feel free to ask me any questions on here. I love interacting with you guys. It is such an honor to be here, and I will be back tomorrow to discuss the number one way that you can begin to push the inflammation out of your body with ease, without feeling overwhelmed, without feeling deprived, so that you can truly begin to reverse your chronic symptoms. Mwah. Have a great day. Love y'all.